Mhm.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Good to see you on here. So how was everybody's day today, being a Monday?
Definitely a Monday.
Yeah, I had really good plans and, well, a few things got wrenched, but yeah, it was good. So tonight I had a couple things I wanted to go over. I kind of want to do some skill training a little bit tonight, and I want to talk about the rank guide and the Power of Three it's the train guide. So it's the one in Empowered Success designed for people who are wanting to work towards Premier and Silver rank. And then I also want to talk about Diamond Club a little bit more, since it's officially Diamond Club month and what that means and the August incentives and some of that kind of stuff. So I thought this would be a good time to kind of brainstorm a few ideas there too.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a couple of screen shares with you guys so I can go through it. I was just looking at my notes to see if I had anything else on there. So let me go to screen share. It seems like every time I get in here, it looks a little different. I would like to just know exactly where to click, but I don't know why. Sometimes the share button's at the top and sometimes it is at the bottom. So just bear with me here. Okay. So right here, I'm going to show you guys where I'm at. This is the doTERRA Train to Premier and Silver guide. And it is in, when you go to doTERRA, you go to resources after you log in, and then you'll be able to go to Empowered Success, and then you can scroll down to the train guide and download it. And I think we've went through this one earlier, a little bit of it. So again, these all talk about your pipes: prepare, invite, present, enroll, and support. So right here, if you guys can see my mouse over the Premier, the example that it gives you here, so you would be in the Premier circle and you would need 2 executives underneath of you to hit Premier rank. And so it talks about the average income is $742 a month, and that would include the 250 Power of 3 bonus. So when you move to Silver, you need 3 elites underneath of you, and the average income would be $21.98 a month, and that's reaching your 1,500 Power of 3. So as you're building to rank, you're also building your Power of 3. And that is like the $1 million question. Well, do I build to Power of 3? Do I build to rank? Well, the ambiguous sometimes answer is you build to both. And so you really, you have to have an overall strategy plan, and then you move around a little bit within that. So I don't want to go too deep into that part of it tonight, but I really want to show you the numbers side of it and how to use the guide to hit those ranks consistently. And so I'm going to scroll down here because I know we've covered some of this before. But here's the rank planner. So when I first started out doing this, Casey Vaudry had done a Path to Diamond. So it was like a small group mentoring program that we did together. And this is where she was like really hardcore, and we did the rank planner every single week of the month. And so it really got me in the habit of checking my numbers, filling in the blanks. So then when I knew, when I enrolled somebody new, I knew where to put them at. But I also want to caution you that you don't always put somebody where you need them for rank, because you want to put them where relationship is important, because long-term, the relationship really is what keeps people involved. So it's not just a number theme. Let me try to make this just a little bigger so you can see it better on the screen. Okay, maybe one more. All right, so in this rank planner, you'll see Premier at the top. So it says 100 PV and 5,000 OB. So what that means is 100 personal volume. You always, every month, you want to make sure you do 100 points on your LRP. And then your total team volume, this is the one rank that requires a team volume overall. And that's a 5,000 overall volume. And that has to be within 2 executive legs. So if you look down underneath, Builder 1, your goal is executive. So that's the 2000 OB, and the goal of elite would be your 3000 OB. And then if you're building to silver, you would continue that across times 3. Does that make sense? If you're doing the elite 3000, 3000, 3000. But if you're doing premier, you're only doing the purple part, which is 2000, 2000. But you'll need side volume in that premier. So 2000 and 2000 is only 4000. So you need another 1000 in side volume. So I have a different rank sheet that Casey shared with me a long time ago. And I can send this out as a PDF. This one helped me break it down a little more simplified, so I wasn't looking at all the silver stuff. And I know why doTERRA did the premier and silver together, because you don't want to stay at premier very long. You just want to move right into silver. And so they just put them together because it's a building block. So once you hit premier, you've already did the groundwork, and then you just move into silver. So does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you covered probably some of this when you went to base camp, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then Empowered Success, of course, that training, they break some of that down too when you get to go to that. So here they break it down leg 1, leg 2. So how I like to show people is you go into your office. So when you log in and you go to your account, which now the website looks different, and you'll have the little bubble. And so I have my picture uploaded, so my picture shows in my little bubble. So you click on that and you go to my office, and then you go to your team tab. And in the team tab, you go to your tree, and then you can just hover over your little bubbles of your downline. And when you hover over those bubbles, you will see when they're LRP processed, or if it's processed for the month, and you'll see the volume of that. So that's one way you can do it. The other way, you can go into detailed genealogy and see who's processed, but it's not going to tell you what's left for the month. So if you want to do a double check of what's processed for the month, you can do it that way. So I just got real friendly with my graphical tree, and I would go through and hover over each of my legs to track the volume and what I had left. And then that's where you'll do all your math work each week. And don't do this every day or it'll drive you crazy. So just pick one day of the week to do it. And then just stay with that one day. So this is where that extra volume is going to come in. So it's okay that you might have some people that are kind of maybe off by themselves and you don't have them where you would like them ideally to be to start with, because you can use that extra volume on your front line. And everybody starts out with quite a few people on their front line at some point, because you're just waiting for somebody who wants to share doTERRA, and then you can move people underneath of them if need be. Or as they're starting to build their business, then they're putting their own people on there, and they just have the side volume. So this extra volume is where you'll pull those people in that aren't in your 2 legs. So it's really important as we're building to rank to find 2 people who want to share oils, want to be a wellness advocate. They may or may not want a full-time income, but they're willing to be your referral partner. And Greg and I have really shifted in how we've done this, because not everybody really wants an income. They like some free oils, and that's where they want to stay. So it's okay. But what we've been trying to shift into is if they don't want to support the people underneath of them, then great, be a referral partner. We'll share, some free product with you, part of our fast start, and they get a percentage of it, and they get to choose what they want, or we give them a diffuser, and we support them, but there are enrollments so that we get the fast start off of them, because some people don't want to always commit to supporting other people. So and eventually they'll be getting the Unilevel off of it. After 2 months, the fast start goes away and Unilevel kicks in. So I feel like a win-win. So sometimes if you have a dedicated person who likes to order their 100 PV or 125 PV every month, they might be somebody you could actually build under.
Mm-hmm.
And then down underneath, this really helped me. And I faithfully used this when I was building to Premier and Silver. So it helps you lay out what you need in each leg to hit rank for the month. So you'll be able to divide out how much volume you need. And then you can actually say, well, if I knew 100 PV order was the average order and I have 5 people enrolling on this leg, that'll fill in 500 PV in volume. I mean, you can do all the math you want, and you have to look at your numbers to know what your enrollment ratios are and to see what you need to do. But this helped me a lot. And sometimes you really don't have a lot of people that are doing this, and maybe your own classes you're doing this. So just go ahead and put it in there and know what you're doing no matter what.
That's cool.
And then this is the incentive. So like you have a make and take scheduled this week, and one of your incentives is a free roller, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can do stuff like that and then kind of monitor if you feel it works or if you need to change it up, but it's a great place to start. People love free stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's a good place to do that. And then even outside of that, you can get some extra volume even outside of those 2 legs. So that helps if you have some incentives for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're first starting out, sometimes you don't have 2 legs defined. So you're just kind of working down, looking for that next person.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then, let's see, where did that one go? Okay. So this one is the Silver Builder worksheet. So the only difference with it is it adds that leg 3 leader on. And then you have the 3 under the third one underneath, not your side volume. So they're pretty much the same. To me, this just was a little more basic and not so color coded for me. So it helped me. I'm pretty visual, and so I get distracted by a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah, I like this sheet. That's good.
But I know for presentation purposes, what doTERRA has in the train guide works great. But the actual nuts and bolts and working this every week and every month, this laid out a little bit better for me. And then Greg had, I gotta find it here. We looked this up earlier. Okay. Let me see if I can make that bigger. I don't think it's gonna let me go any bigger than that. Okay. So can you guys see that? I mean, it looks big on my screen, but I don't know if it's big enough for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to let Greg explain a little bit on here.
This is just a quick reference that I use. And basically it's just saying that for you, this top line is you. So 50, 100, 100, 100 points a month. And the monthly OV is your team. So as a manager, director, executive, elite, for you to be elite, you have to have 3,000 in volume. And then these are the bonuses that it pays out down below. So this is your unilevel. And then it also goes into the leadership bonuses, performance pool, and the diamond performance pool down here as well. So this is just a quick reference that I use if I'm trying to figure out, if somebody is, elite, premier, silver, whatever, to be silver, they have to have 3 qualified legs that are elite. And it's just a quick reference. So, and at premier, that you can get paid commissions down to level 6. So at premier, if you're placing people on your level 7, that's fine, but it's because you're looking ahead to higher levels or higher volume, because you're only going to get paid commissions down to level 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you have your different types of performance bonuses. There's a 2% bonus on silver, gold, and platinum. And actually this one I think is old, because I think Premier is paid at 2% now as well. So you can just color that one in there too. And then, it just explains it. So it's just a one sheet quick reference to look, because if somebody's at, looking at, what do I need to do to be diamond, this month, it's 4 qualified legs of silver. And that, and then you can look and go, that means silver has to be 3 elites. To be elite, you have to have 3,000 volume, and you can just quickly look at all of those. So,
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
And the other thing, sorry, is down here that was one thing I looked at before too, is the legs must be personally enrolled if it has a little asterisk. So, you have these places where like elite, to be elite, you have to have 3,000 volume, and to be silver, 3 legs have to be personally enrolled as elite. So
Yeah.
it was.
So that is an important thing to do, especially when you're initially building your business. I didn't have, as many people actively building as fast as I was. So I was placing them into teams myself. And when I went from premier to silver to gold all in 1 calendar year. And so it was really, really fast, faster than I knew what I was doing. And so when I hit gold that month, I went in panic mode because my rank wasn't showing up. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And I had 2, was it just 2? I think it was just 2 enrollments that I had to gift to one of my builders. And in order to do that, I had to go through the exceptions committee, and that was before everything was automated. And so I had to do, what was that sign in? DocuSign. And so I had to do these DocuSign accounts. And boy, talk about a testing level of my skills and patience. But anyway, it all worked out, and I hit my rank and everything. But when it says that, they mean it. So those are just some things. And then something else too is when the enrollership has been changed once, you can't change that enrollership again. So I have had a couple of weird situations on my team. One of them was a reactivation. And so they were originally enrolled with somebody else. And then so that changed from that other person to me. Those can't be re-gifted to somebody to hit rank. You can apply for an exception, and you're at the exception committee mercy if they will grant that or not. So that is kind of a word to the wise. If you're decide to build under somebody who's already been moved over once, plan that well, because you may not be able to gift that to somebody in between you and them.
Mm-hmm.
And to make that long story short, you may not be able to rank advance if you can't gift that person. So.
Yeah. So it may not be wise to build under them if you need to give them up for a rank to somebody underneath of you. So
Okay.
just a few, like when I said from the very beginning, when I started doing these calls, like I wanted to share information that I wished I'd have known then.
Yeah.
Would make things a little smoother now for somebody else coming in.
And we're happy to go over with somebody, because I know me and Dana will sit and talk about it and go, oh, we have to be careful we place that person, because we won't be able to gift their enrollership way to somebody if they need to rank advance.
Yeah.
So.
So, I mean, it's fine if that person wants to totally run with it and build their own team, but for me to be able to help them, I can't. In that respect, of being able to gift them to somebody else for rank. So I can help them every other way but that.
I see.
So yes, some do's and don'ts. And then I want to go back. Okay, so when we looked at, let me find it here, the training guide right here. The next page is Power of 3. So do the 50, teach the 50, and repeat. So this there again is kind of too much information for me. So I prefer, when I'm working this out, to just go really simple. And let's see. This explains it in detail. And then there's a guide right here. This is even more simple, and I like really simple. So you would be in this top white square, and then your 3 team leaders would be here. And then ideally you want to teach each of those 3 how to build their power of 50. And so right there's your 250 bonus. And then your next level is your 1500. This is where, when you see the average incomes, it goes down to the 1500 when you hit the silver rank average incomes. And the premier, you're seeing the 250 rank. So the now is really cool in your back office. You can go in and click to see the power of 3 and where you're short. But this helps me. I would recommend everybody start doing this to see where they're at, because it makes you aware of how the numbers work. So for me, I need to do my minimum of 100 PV. But you can already see the math. If each of these are only doing 100, that's 1, 2, 3, 400 PV. To make that power of 3, you need a 600 total team volume on your front line and yourself included. So either you're going to all have to up your PV, or you might have to have a couple of people off to the side that are bringing in some extra volume. And they may not do 100 PV. They might just be wholesale customers. That's not an ideal world. I don't like to leave people hanging out unsupported, but it happens. So especially when you're first starting your teams out, because you just stick them there, you don't have anywhere to put them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. This guide here gives you a little more detail. So this would show you those extra people that may sit out here, and sometimes they order and sometimes they don't. And then when you move over, you'll see that power of 3 bonus again with the 250. So you're teaching them to do that, and then your 1500, it multiplies it out that way. So it kind of helps you break that down to see what that looks like. And then Debbie explained to me that at I think it's the Blue Diamond rank, pretty sure when she hit Blue Diamond, to get your 1500 bonus, you have to do a 200 point personal order for the month as the leader.
Good to know.
Yes. So that was the other thing. She's like, oh, I wish I'd have known this. And I have never forgot it when she shared that with me. So important little tidbits to know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then was there anything else you want to say about Power 3, Greg? Yeah. I mean, this one is really cool, and it's
one of the things on Power 3 that I've seen over time is just to be able to watch team volume, because there's been times where somebody literally was a 1.5 PV away from getting like $50 Power 3. And, so, and sometimes they just don't realize it. And get in and look and be like, hey, touch base with so-and-so. I mean, even if they order chapstick, they're going to get a $50 check back. So sometimes people just don't realize it, whether it's the team volume of that 600 or, personal volume, or they have one person of their 3 for that 50 point level that was at 98.5 PV, and everything else was in line. That was all they were short of everybody getting, that bonus is that 1.5 PV. So.
Wow.
And it is honestly better if you can try to catch that before the last day of the month.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you have more odds of connecting with that person. A lot of them are willing to do that, but if you don't catch it till 10 o'clock on the last day of the month, probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to try to check for my Power of 3 stuff, early in that last week, even mid-month. Sometimes I can catch things. Or if I see I've got someone with kind of people underneath, but they're not necessarily one of my builders per se, but I know that they're getting some nice commissions, and they sometimes get Power 3 and sometimes don't. I try to watch for those people, because what's really cool when they see that they're getting Power of 3 more often than not, they start to commit to doing that 100 point order, 125 point order, because the half of their oils are paid for right then.
Mm-hmm.
So it changes their perspective with doTERRA in a very real way, because they're getting their oils paid for.
Sure.
So that's always a good thing
Mhm.
when they can have that value. Okay, so does anybody have questions so far? Okay, I skipped over some of this first stuff because we've already been through it, but we can always go back to revisit it. I just didn't want to spend all of our time there tonight because I wanted to talk about Diamond Club. So let's see, I gotta find my flyer. I got too many tabs open. Okay, so thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
This was the Diamond Club August promotion. So anybody that meets with me during the month of August and they enroll with doTERRA with a 100-point enrollment, they will get a free grapefruit, 15 mil. And then if they enroll with the 400 PV offer, like a natural solutions kit, they will get a free grapefruit and a free balance. And then any of them who set up a 100-point LRP that processes the next month. So like if they enrolled this month and then set up an LRP for 100 in September, once that processes, doTERRA will automatically gift them 25 free points into their account. So I thought, wow, that's a really cool offer.
Yeah.
And then I'm also coming up with some enrollment gifts out of some of my stock that I have. So I'm not going to be like hard and fast as to what I'm gifting. It just depends on what I have available for the month. But I will announce at each class what I'm offering for people who enroll that night. Because with the Diamond Club, I have to be the one that enters the enrollment with my code for them to get it.
Hmm.
And technically, they have to do this within 3 business days, but all the training that we had, they are recommending that we just do it that night. But they do give us some wiggle room if something happens and, oh, I got to wait till tomorrow for my, paycheck to process or whatever. So I just know out of personal experience, if you don't get them that night, it's a little more difficult. So I recommend if we can get them enrolled that night to do that. So let's see. Okay, so then with Diamond Club for myself, for me to advance to the next month, and it's 4 months long, August, September, October, November, clear to the end of November. Each month I need to do a minimum enrollment. So with August, I need 10 enrollments. Now they don't have to be my personal enrollments. This allows me to build our team. But the other thing that's really cool is I can also do what's called Crossline. So these 10 enrollments, I'm allowed to do 30% of those enrollments, so 3 enrollments for August from somebody else not even on my team. Debbie, if I met with any of Debbie's people from my upline or Casey and met with them, they could actually enroll them, and that would also count towards that 30%. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing is I have an attendance sheet that has to be filled out at each event, and I think I have that pulled up here, and I'll bring a printed version of it. I have too many tabs. Here it is. So when they come, I'll need their name, email, phone number, and who invited them. And so like for your class, Sue, I'm sure many of them will be invited by you, but I want to make sure I'm doing up some rollers. And so anybody that brings a guest that doesn't already have an account, I will give them a free roller for doing that. And so if you want, as you send out your follow-up text tomorrow, I'm assuming, do you text on the day before or the day of when you send out your reminders?
I haven't sent out that menu yet. I was going to send it tomorrow and then just do a quick reminder on Wednesday.
Okay, perfect. So if you want to, whichever one of those, if you want to say, hey, get a free roller from Dana if you bring somebody that doesn't have an account, or however you're wording, you're really good at the marketing side, so you'll probably have some better wording than I will.
Okay.
So yeah, just however you want to say that, but I'll bring some rollers with me to gift them.
Okay.
And then, and they're going to be custom blends. The blend I want to do is called Abundance, and it's one of the oils of the Bible blends that I taught this winter.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. I've been using it every day, and I'm like, oh, why wasn't I using this sooner? So it was just good timing. So anyway, but I'll need that filled out for registration when we do your class and all of our future classes with our whole team. And let's see. So, because I have to submit that list within 24 hours because they will verify that I've met with these people in person.
Mm.
And then, of course, I have to keep my gas receipts and all that stuff. So that's not really what I was showing here. Yep. So here's the requirements. I have to meet face-to-face with each person. And then I have to enter the enrollment with my promo code so they get their free product, because otherwise they won't get it if I don't put it in with my code. And I think that was it basically for what you guys needed to know tonight from me.
Okay.
So stop the screen share. Okay. So do you guys have some questions?
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah. I felt like we kind of needed to go back and revisit because it does help you break down into bite-sized chunks where you're moving towards. And I mean, even if we're not hitting the rank we want to, we need to build towards that rank each month. So, and I'll get Greg on here another night to kind of go into some more maybe strategy type stuff. He's definitely the key person there. And like when we come to visit different times too, I can work with you individually, and I'm working with Sam and Zoe also. Zoe's way new. We're breaking her in a little at a time here. So she's getting ready to go to college here, and it's about a week and a half. So she's looking at the calendar going, uh-oh.
It's more than a week. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to go faster than you think. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I really wrapping my head around what Diamond Club really means. And I feel like it just gives us a chance to expand our reach and give people free stuff and really help them to live a healthy lifestyle in a fun way. So just a little bit different flavor than what, we normally do.
Yeah.
So, real quick on your, I Am Fabulous. Did you get the spiral bound book with all the recipes in it?
I didn't.
Okay.
I have the tear sheets for some reason.
Okay. I have those. That is a really good class. We taught it as a 5-week series.
Oh, wow.
Because it's really, like, if you get into it, it's really detailed.
Awesome.
Yeah. So can definitely, use that guide too. And then I do have, I think, 4 of the emotions guides as well. But what we can do is I can do it a couple ways. We can just do like the natural solutions class real quick in the beginning and twist it to support emotions, and then go into the I Am Fabulous tear sheet, and then everybody can have that.
We could, or we can save the I Am Fabulous for another time.
So, well, I don't want to, like, if you wanted to teach that, I think it's a great way to teach it.
I'm thinking it might be a little too much all at once,
Yeah.
I'd like to study it more now that I know there's a whole course behind it.
Yeah. I liked the I Am Fabulous, but yeah, it was pretty detailed, and we split it up into 5 weeks when we taught it.
Yeah. Probably should save it and do a couple of nights later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds good. I was listening to another Diamond Club training today, and they also talked about doing a short kind of business overview at the end of the class. So I'm not sure how to incorporate that. Maybe you mull that over a little bit, how we want to roll some of that into our make and take.
Okay, definitely.
Okay. Obviously not going to go through the whole build guide, but maybe just presenting to them, they can get their oils paid for, or, earn a supplemental residual income, whichever they would prefer.
Yeah, I think they need to know that.
Yeah, the more I do this, the more I think, wow, I'm not serving people well when I'm not sharing all that I can about the business, because there's so much to offer, and so many people want an extra income. They may not want to replace their income, but they would like something on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what a better way to do it than doTERRA?
Definitely.
So anyway, yeah, I wanted to make sure we touch base on that. And if we have kind of that mindset before we go in, this is what we're doing, then we, between all of us, will remember.
Yeah, hopefully we'll fit it in.
Yeah. So, and I have reached out to one of my other ladies in Buffalo. I haven't called the other one yet. So.
Okay. That'd be great if they come. I'm getting mixed answers again, but I've got a few people that are most likely to come.
That's awesome. Yeah, and maybe too, just getting them to come and bring in a friend too.
Yeah.
Sometimes they feel a little more comfortable bringing a friend.
Yes, absolutely.
So, very good.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. We'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll see you and Zoe and Sam probably tomorrow.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.